what it takes. My process is purely logistical.
Welcome back to Night News. Before we start, please like the video for more excellent content.
If I'm effective, it's because of one simple fact. I don't give a trust no one. Stick to the plan. Forbid empathy. Stick to the plan. Simple.
The Killer. An accomplished and seasoned assassin known only as the Killer takes up residence in a Paris hotel room, remaining anonymous. He expects the victim to check into the hotel room at some unspecified time, so he gets ready to kill someone with a sniper rifle. He eats, does yoga, listens to Smith's music, and speaks on the phone with his handler, Hodges, an attorney, while he waits for the target. The Killer tells a story in which he talks about these actions, emphasizing how tedious and repetitive his profession is and how his cynicism and lack of empathy help him succeed in his chosen field. After a certain amount of time, the target appears with a dominatrix. The Killer aims and fires, killing the dominatrix by mistake rather than hitting his intended target. Using one of his numerous false identities, he escapes, avoids being apprehended by the police, and catches a flight to the United States. As Hodges ordered assassins to wrap up loose ends as a make-good to the client, the Killer finds that one of his hideout homes in the Dominican Republic has been broken into and that his lover Magdala has been attacked but not killed. Hodges sent the assassins in order to fulfill the client's insistence on having all unfinished business handled. He manages to track down Leo, the cab driver who helped the assassins monitor his apartment. Leo identifies them as a young man with a strikingly strong build and an older woman with white hair. The Killer murders Leo and leaves his body in the taxi. The Killer makes his way to Hodges' office in New Orleans, Louisiana, and dons a sanitation worker's uniform to gain in. Hodges has no idea that the Killer is about. After putting Dolores, Hodges' secretary, under arrest, he destroys the computer files that show how much time they spent together. As Hodges tried to defuse the situation, the Killer fired a nail gun into his chest. Through torture, the Killer hoped to get Hodges to reveal the identities of the hitmen. However, Hodges choked on his own blood, dying far sooner than the Killer had planned. Dolores offers to reveal to the Killer who the assassins are and are kept in her home's personal paper files. In return, she requests that the Killer kill her quickly and without cause so that her kids can inherit her life insurance. Her wish is granted by the Killer, who does so by unexpectedly breaking her neck and sending her plummeting down a set of steps, giving the impression that her death was an accident. Following his delivery of a diphenhydramine shot mixed with ground beef to the vicious assassin's pit dog, the Killer heads to St. Petersburg, Florida, where he breaks into the assassin's house. Despite the brute's valiant efforts and several serious injuries, the Killer ultimately succeeds in killing the brute and igniting his house on fire. He then travels to Beacon, New York, where he meets the assassin with more experience in a posh restaurant. The expert asks the Killer why he keeps up his business, but he seems to have accepted what would happen to her. The expert allows the Killer to carry out the murder outside as soon as she has completed her supper. He opened fire, killing her after she had fallen and called for help. She appears to have been planning to surprise him by giving him an unexpected knife blow, as seen by the steak knife she is carrying in her hand. The Killer travels to Chicago, where the client lives in an opulent apartment as a wealthy venture capitalist by the name of Claiborne. The Killer follows his plan, which involves utilizing inexpensive tools he purchased on Amazon to duplicate his house keycard and circumvent the building's security mechanisms. With a gun to Claiborne's head, he confronts him and queries whether or not he approved of the hit in retaliation for personal grievances. As a first-time hitman client, Claiborne claims he has no personal concerns with Hodges and agreed to pay him to wrap things up without fully knowing what that included. According to Claiborne, there are no personal grievances between them. The Killer spares Claiborne, but he follows through on his vow to return and murder him in a brutal and unexpected way if he finds out that Claiborne has given the order to hit him again. 86% of the 220 reviews on Rotten Tomatoes, a website that compiles reviews from many sources, are positive and have an average rating of 7.4 out of 10. The website's verdict is that The Killer finds director David Fincher on firm footing with a stylish and engaging thriller that proves a perfect match for leading man Michael Fassbender. On review aggregator website Metacritic, which uses a weighted average to calculate scores, the movie scored 72 out of 100, indicating that it was given generally favorable reviews. I appreciate you coming, and please remember to like and subscribe. Thank you.